Hi again, folks. Welcome back to UND.com and NDBasketball.com. I'm joined by the head coach of the Fighting Irish, Muffet McGraw, and it's September 1st, which means, you know what? It's schedule time for the Irish this year. We're about to release the 2011-2012 schedule, and you joke about it every year that we got to talk to Jonathan Sippis about the scheduling because it seems to get harder and harder every year. Your initial thoughts on the 2011-2012 schedule?
Well, as always, I think most difficult schedule, definitely most difficult in the Big East. I think it's a great schedule for us. If we can get through the WNIT and get to the final, we'll play Baylor, #1 in the country. We've got Kentucky coming in here. The Big East is so difficult, and I think we're at 6 of the top schools, including us. That would be the top 7 teams. We're at every one of them, so it's going to be incredibly difficult for us. But we got a lot of TV games. Everybody wants to see us.
Well, it's interesting because we've talked from time to time about your philosophy when it comes to scheduling. You like to schedule hard in the non-conference season, prepares you for conference play, and so on. So talk a little bit about how you like to build the schedule during the course of the year.
Well, and my philosophy in April is that I want to play these great teams. Then when it gets to September, I'm questioning my philosophy and wondering why we have such a difficult schedule. But when you have a great team coming back, you want to be challenged. You want to play the best teams in the country. It looks like we could play 3 of the top 5 in the country with Tennessee, Connecticut, and Baylor all on the schedule. So definitely, I don't think too many teams in the country are doing that.
Well, we start off with an exhibition game on November 2nd, and I joke that we're playing the defending national champions, but it's the Canadian national champions that we're playing. It's an interesting matchup. You're actually going to play a Canadian team. Natalie Achonwa, is there a tie-in with that at all?
Well, there was. They actually wanted us to go there and to bring Natalie home, which would have been a great thing, but it would have counted as a foreign tour, and we would only be able to do it once every 4 years, so we weren't able to go there. But they decided they would come here. I'm sure Natalie knows some of the players on that team, and they certainly know who she is. So it'll be interesting because the foreign teams have such a great way of playing with the perimeter players shooting threes, the post players stepping out. It's a very open, free kind of game. It'll be a challenge for us defensively. And
that'll set you up for the start of the regular season. That'll be in on November 11th. The Fighting Irish at home against the Akron Zips, first round of the preseason WNIT. This is the 4th time that you guys have played in the preseason NIT. You've had pretty good success over the years. Talk a little bit about what you expect to see out of the tournament.
Well, it's a great preparation because it's a tournament feel. You're playing every other day in the beginning, so it's just like the NCAA tournament. I think it's going to prepare us for that kind of pace during the season. It means a little something. Usually in the beginning of the year, you're playing games. You're trying to figure things out. But this is a tournament, so we really want to be ready. We want to win the championship. We want to kind of start out with a win in a championship so that we can get ready for the rest of the season.
Now, the Irish could play up to 4 games in the preseason NIT. The first 3, more than likely, will be at home. If the brackets hold all the way through, the Irish would play Hartford in the semifinals. They're coached by Jen Rosati, power out of the America East. And as you mentioned, probably Baylor, if everything holds in the championship game. That would likely be down in Waco. It would be on national TV on CBS Sports Network November 20th.
And that would be a great game. We were down there just a little while ago and didn't play as well as we wanted to. So I think the girls would love that opportunity to get back and feel like we played our game. We had that great run late, 17-4 run in the second half, but just couldn't close it out. So that's a game I think we would, you want to get one back. That's one to get.
And then right after that, another tournament. There's not much of a break because you go right to the Bahamas and you're going to play in the Junkanoo Jam. You get USC, a traditional rival, in the first game. Potential for playing Duke, an Elite 8 team, in the championship game the next day.
Well, we're disappointed we've got to go to the Bahamas. It's a tough time of the year, November. Things are getting a little chilly here, so we're gonna have a great time down there and hopefully play some great basketball. USC is a very good team out of the Pac-12. They're a team that we have played in the past, and in fact, I think we may have lost the last time we were out there. And Duke, as you said, a perennial power and just a great team. So really going to be challenged early.
And then you get into the month of December. The Irish are back home. They'll play the Penn Quakers to open the month of December. A road trip out to Creighton. It's an interesting mid-major matchup early in December for you against a team that's very good at home.
Oh, they're a tough team at home, and they had a great team last year, and they have a freshman who was one of the best players in the conference. So that's going to be a really difficult matchup and another challenge for us on the road.
And then you open conference play. This is the 2nd consecutive year that the Big East has put one of the conference games in December. You're going to open at home against Marquette. 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. They gave Tennessee all kinds of problems in the 2nd round last year.
They're a great team. Terry Mitchell does a fantastic job with them. They did lose some good scorers in their senior class. They're going to be a little bit younger, so playing them in December actually worked out really well for us.
And then you have your traditional rival Purdue. This year we'll go down to Mackey Arena, play down there. come back, you've got Kentucky, and you have Central Florida. So you have 3 games right around the time of final exams that are all very challenging.
You know, it's a difficult time to play, especially for the freshmen. They're worried about finals. Everybody's trying to get a lot of things done. They're not sleeping as much as we would like, probably not eating as well as we would like. And those games can kind of go either way. You know, sometimes it's a turnover fest and we can't make a shot. And other games we're so happy to be through with finals that we really play well. So, you know, that time of the year you just really don't know.
Well, and then you go on your Christmas break and you come back from Christmas break and a familiar face will come into the Joyce Center right after the Christmas holiday. Lindsay Schrader brings the Longwood Lancers to town. Longwood is from Farmville, Virginia. It'll be the first time the Irish have played Longwood. Lindsay, her first year as an assistant coach down there with the Lancers.
It was fun to see her out this summer. We spent some time in D.C. together. She was out recruiting, sat at a few games with her, saw her again in Augusta, Georgia. She really worked hard this summer, really wants to get involved and loves the coaching so far, is anxious to get with the girls. It'll be fun for her to come back. I'm sure our fans will give her just a great ovation when she gets here.
And then it's interesting because you close out the month of December with a road game, and it's not your traditional road game, but it's something you've talked about for years, that you like to take your players to a home game in one of their home areas. And for Frederica Miller, we're going to play down at Mercer in Macon, Georgia on December 30th.
I tell you, they are so excited about that game. I don't know if they've sold it out or what is going on with their attendance, but they couldn't be happier to have Notre Dame in the house. And I saw their coach this summer. They've had a lot of articles in the paper about it. Really a big deal for them. And for Frederica, of course, we do like to take them back. We're going to spend a day in Atlanta. It's a great time of the year where, you know, we don't have to worry about missing class. So we'll be able to go down there, spend some time in Atlanta, see her family, and then also have them able to come out and see her play a game.
And then we get into January and February, and that means Big East Conference season. And as you mentioned, the Big East Conference, the best conference in women's basketball right now. We sent 2 teams to the Final Four last year. You had 2 other teams that made 3 other teams that made the Sweet 16. It's going to be another tough season all the way around.
Well, I'll tell you, it just never gets easy. Everybody seems to get better every year. We've got 8 or 9 teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament, and you know, like I mentioned earlier, we're on the road for probably 7 of them. So it's going to be a great season for the Big East. Some teams that had some young players last year really looking to step it up, but everybody's got good players coming back. I think there'll probably be 6 or 7 in the top 25.
And you know, it's funny because we talk about the Big East, and oh, by the way, you've got that one non-conference game sprinkled into January. Tennessee comes to town. That'll be on January 23rd. That's a big Monday game here at Purcell Pavilion. It's interesting because you don't normally play a lot of these non-conference games once conference season starts. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, I really didn't want to. I don't like to play a non-conference team. Once we get into the schedule, I like to stick to the Big East teams. But this was an opportunity we couldn't pass up. We were going to play Tennessee in December, which was when we wanted the game. ESPN came in and said we can do it on Big Monday, and that's kind of a great chance for us to really showcase our program.
And the Fighting Irish will have 11 games potentially on national or regional television this year, including 6 on the ESPN family of networks. The Connecticut game here on January 7th will be on CBS, 2nd year in a row that we've been on CBS. As you recall, last year we had a sellout even though we had 3 feet of snow on the ground, and so it should be another great crowd for us again this year. You also host first and second round games in the NCAA tournament this year, and talk a little bit about the home court advantage when it comes to the postseason.
I'll tell you, it's a huge advantage when you have a crowd like we do. When you get the kind of attendance that we have and they come out for the NCAA tournament, we are difficult to beat on our home court, and we've already renewed almost 100%. I think we're about 95% of our season ticket renewals. We're not going to have any tickets left, so we're sure that we're going to have some great crowds for those games. You
got about a month to go until you get started with preseason practice, and the first game, as we mentioned, November 2nd. Your early thoughts on the team? You've had them back now for some individual workouts. What are your early impressions right now?
Well, you have 3 coming off the gold medal. We've tried to shut them down and give them a break mentally and physically, so we're anxious to get them back in the gym next week. The returning players all coming in. Everybody has a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. You know, we've got some things to prove. Still want to do some different things with the offense. The freshmen they're coming along. I think they're going to help us. It's going to be just a fun time because this team is so important to them to work hard. They love to work. They can't wait to get in the gym. They're so fun to be around.
Well, I think we're all excited to see them for the first time. That'll be November 2nd. We're looking forward to it. I know you're looking forward to getting started with practice for real on October 15th. So, Coach, we'll be in touch next month. We'll get another update on how things are going then.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Coach. For head coach Muffet McGraw, I'm Chris Masters, UND.com.